Just doing a little testing. Hopefully this is doing what it's supposed to do. I figure out where to put things again. It's been a while. Sketch, what's up? Thanks for helping me out here. It's been, I don't even know, like 3 months since I streamed last. Hopefully you can hear me okay. You can see the charts okay. Sweet. Chart look okay? Ooh, I'm going to have to move that. Let's move that over. Cool. I think what I'm going to have to figure out again is, so if I switch to black box, that looks okay, I assume. But I had the high-low ticker from E-Trade on here. Thanks for the follows, guys. I had the high-low ticker on here from E-Trade, and I'll have to figure out how to get that going again. But I can't really. Well, maybe I can test it. I want to try to get all the stuff I had in here because people seem to like the high-low ticker, and I had a SPY chart at one point. So I'll have to get all that stuff working again. Just take a little time. Mo Helmo, thank you. Appreciate it. Yeah, like I said, it's been, I think it's been 3 months since I've streamed because I was gone for a while and traveling. Like when COVID first started, I was out in the middle of the desert riding dirt bikes and stuff, trying to avoid people, which worked great, but now I'm back. Can I show you why Black Box is better than Flow Algo? Yes, absolutely, without a doubt. So the first thing that I will tell you is that there are plenty of times where there is flow that shows up in Black Box that does not show up on Flow Algo. It's not there. If we're just talking about the flow on Black Box is definitely better. Hold, please, and we'll continue. Hello. You. Okay. Yeah, and it's at Holly Street when I place the order. Okay, I'm streaming right now. Okay, love you, bye. All right, so yeah, tons of flow that doesn't show up on Flow Algo. Besides that, like the support that you get and the Discord server is second to none, in my opinion. And maybe I'm a little biased because I've been with Black Box for so long, but there's a lot of new tools that are getting built into the system. If you can see my screen right now, I'm going to go to options. I'll go to the filter. Look at the filters that are in here. These are the filters that people have been asking for. We have an unusual options scanner. And I'll tell you that scanner, like if you know who the Nigerians are, we call them the Nigerians, the brothers that are on the halftime show. usually whatever they're going to call out shows up in that unusual options activity scanner. So the flow is really, really good. But outside of that, we actually pay moderators in Discord. I'm one of those paid moderators. So we've got, I think, 8 that we're at now that are walking people through charts and flow and plays and things. Yeah, we call it the ponytail pump. Yep. So it's more than just flow, right? You got flow, you got charts, you got all the tools that are built into the platform. Some of you can get a sense of the pre-market movers, the post-market scanner, the news. So we build news from the fly. We pay for the fly for every member, so you get news straight from the fly. So if I click this little news tab, if I'm on a ticker, it'll show me specifically news to that ticker, but options news, ratings, changes, things like that. I've got chat built into this, main chat for Blackbox. And I can, click stock twits if I'm on a ticker. It'll show me the stock twits. Not that I give a shit what stock twits has to say, but you can see it. What's up? CCAN. What's happening? Yeah, it's Bumpin' Bellies. Welcome. I think it's I don't know that you've been part of this Twitch stream in the past, but maybe you have. I don't know. It's been so long. What got me into trading? How long have I been trading options? What got me into trading was I saw all these people doing it, and I read about it and things like. I'm a technical dude. Like, I'm an IT guy, right? So if there's something out there, I feel like I can probably figure it out, right? It's like I feel like I'm smart enough, and I'll do the homework, I'll put the work in, and I'll figure out how it works. And I came across micro futures about, I don't even know. God, it's been like 11 years. 11 years ago or so, I started trading micro futures and penny stocks. And that's what got me started. And I got my ass kicked on penny stocks. Like I killed it like the first 6 trades, and then I got crushed. And I was trying to figure out, why am I getting destroyed on these things? And I ran into Maria on StockTwits, and her and I had been talking back and forth about a couple things, and I was pretty good at playing the low float bios and stuff like that. And it was like, I think it was her who said, hey, we got this black box thing, her and Charlie, hey, we got this black box thing, love to have you come hang out. And that was before Discord and, the option scanners and everything else. And so I've been trading options with them for, I don't know, probably 5 years or so. Trading in total, 10, 11 years-ish. System works. Have been with Blackbox for a year plus. Yeah, it definitely works. And it's hard to... You cannot overstate the value of this system, and then having people to walk you through what's going on in the system, right? You're not on your own. You're not just flying blind. We're here to help. We're explaining what's going on in the flow. We're explaining the charts, what we see, whether or not we're going to play it. We go through all that stuff. Anki, what happened to your Twitch name? And welcome back. It's been a minute. It's been a minute. I'm in a new office and everything's changed. I got like my monitors are in all different places. It's going to take me a minute to figure this out again. How do I go about picking tickers? Well, I start with my own. I kind of have my own list of things that I like to play and that I like to watch. Thank you, man. Appreciate it. I have my own list of things that I like to play, that I like to watch, but then I'm also watching the flow. I'm listening to everything that's going on in the room. And Anki, I'm going to assume that you're talking about the camera looks fine. I'm not taking it past that. Only because I don't want to get embarrassed and blush and things like that. But yeah, I have my own list of things that I look at, and then I go to the flow and what the room is playing and that sort of thing. And there are days that I go into the trading day and I don't even know what I'm going to play. I don't know what I'm going to look at. I mean, I've got Amazon up. I've got, typically I got Microsoft up. I play a lot of AbbVie, so I usually have that up. And then a few others. But, I can go into the day without anything. And I'll just watch SPY, and maybe I'll play a couple trades on SPY, and then I'll hear the room talking about something. I'll see charts, and I'll hear them in Discord talking about, whether it's BA or it's NVIDIA or Twilio or, something else. And then I'll go look at the chart and figure out if it's for me and if I want to play it or not. And no, I don't mess with pennies anymore, Sketch. I mean, there's no reason, honestly. I could get you out of penny stocks pretty quickly, because the whole allure to penny stocks is quick gains, low cost, right? Oh, I can invest in this for 19 cents and then it's going to go to $1 and whatever. You can do that with options all day long. What was one previous ticker that you got burned on? AEGY is one. It was actually the developer from Weed Maps went to it was a pod stock years ago, went to another company, and they were going to do a delivery service, and it never happened. Another one would be MTVX, which became APTX, which was like, I don't know, Advanced Power Technologies or something like that. They were doing this like a combustionless motor for NASA, and it turned out that the CEO was a pedophile, and nobody knew that, and it all seemed on the up and up, and then all of a sudden it came out that this dude out of Kansas City was a pastor and was also a pedophile. And I've told that story a couple times. I tell that story a lot because I had done really well. I had my first 7 or 8 trades on penny stocks. I had done really well. And then I took the money and I put it into this ticker. And I was walking down the street one day. I bought in $8,000 when it was 0008. And I was walking down the street. I still had a full-time job, and I was walking down the street, and I looked at my phone, and I was up $330-some thousand. Did I sell? No, I didn't sell. Everybody told me it was going to a dime. Why am I going to sell? Or it's going to $1. Why am I going to sell? I'm not going to sell. World's best trader. What's up, buddy? I am sitting here on a Saturday evening testing Twitch because it's been a long time since I streamed. I want to make sure everything's ready to go for Monday because I plan to be here Monday before the bell. And if things go well, I'll be streaming throughout the week. We have a big trial next week. We've got a lot of new people. I'm going to do whatever I can to kind of help people through the charts and stuff. Nice. You will get ready. You're going to pick up a lot. It's like drinking from a fire hose for a lot of people. And that's kind of why I want to be here, is to help people kind of settle down a little bit and filter through the noise and get what's important, out of the week. Been messing with options for 6 months. Been a bit back and forth. Well, it's better than being down every time. Yam the door. What's up? Yeah, it has. It's been a while. And World's Best Trader, if I give you another winning trade, you're gonna buy my next car or something, because it's like everything I throw at you just turns to gold. I might as well just only trade what I text you. Also mess with some pennies, but yeah, they're sketchy as shit, dude. I mean, listen, you could be dealing with a company that's got a mailbox like outside of a farm, and they're in a trailer, and it's who the hell knows? You have no idea what's going to happen. It's a shit show every time. And everybody thinks like, oh, well, Monster was a penny stock and they made it. Well, sure, sort of, right? But yours isn't. It's not going to do that. And if you're in before the pump, it's fine. You can make some money. But it's the dreamers that, get screwed every time. And I was one of those. Like I said, a couple times, I was one of those. So we could talk about a couple different things. I mean, we could, while we got people here and it's Saturday and everybody's kind of hanging out, we could go through some charts, or we could go through Black Box. I mean, I really just popped on to do a little test and make sure everything was going to work the way that I expected. Hopefully the camera looks okay. I've got the lights set up. Hopefully it's working. Can you show how you use Black Box and the best things you like? Sure. The majority of what I watch, so in the mornings, before the market opens, I'm looking at the pre-market scan, which is, I don't know if you can see that. Down here is the pre-market scan. So I watch the pre-market scan. I see what comes up. I see if there's anything in there that's interesting to me, because a lot of times it is low floaters or penny stocks or something like that. So I don't really, pay too much attention to it, but I just kind of scroll through and see if there's anything in there of interest for me. From there, once the market opens, I'm pretty much just watching the options flow. And I'll go to all options, and I'll go to alerts, and I'll see what comes up, what gets alerted. What am I looking at here? And I'll play with the filters. I'll go to the flow. And listen, half these filters, more than half, are brand new. We've literally had them for a week. So I'm still getting used to all of them. But this unusual options, unusual activity only, I'll tick that on and off. And I'll look at that. I'll see if there's anything there. If there's nothing there, then I'll turn it off. And I'll just watch the flow and see, hey, what are they going into today? Like what's active, what's actionable. I look for some sort of consistency in a ticker, and I look for some real dollars behind it. I want to see the stuff where I see 20, 30K just piling on over and over again. That's the stuff I want to see. I don't care if it's like one sweep, 20K, goes away, right? But if they're going into the same ticker above the ask and the price is moving in the right direction, I see that over and over again. I see it like 6 times. That tells me I need to go look at that. And that's something that I should be interested in. Maybe not play it. It depends. Like, I'll look at the chart, see if it makes sense to me. But that's what I'm looking for. I just watch the flow. And then, being in Discord, you do not miss a headline. Because we have 3,000 eyes on the news, 3,500 eyes on the news. You don't miss a headline. So I hear stuff like, oh, it just came out that, whatever, J&J being sued over, baby powder or whatever it is. I'll go look at the chart, and I'll look at the flow, and I'll see if the chart reacts, and I'll see if any flow comes in following that news. And if no flow comes in, it's probably not going to move, right? But if you start seeing puts flowing in, and you see, $200,000-$300,000 in puts come in, it's like, okay, yeah, this has some meat to it, and you can play that. So what are some other awesome, I'm guessing, features people like to use on Black Box? There's a whole community in Black Box that trades the stock alerts. I don't. I trade options. But these stock alerts, I mean, if you click one of these, you'll see the chart, and you're going to see literally when it was alerted, what the price at the time that it alerted, and why it alerted. So it's going to tell you, oh, I alerted right here, and here's why. Because there's a 52-week high, you know, there's a volume spike, there's a price spike, whatever the case may be. There's a lot of people that really just focus on that. But that's just not me. That's not what I do. Like I said, I pretty much trade options. The education tab. Here's something. We do classes like 3 days a week on stuff, right? And you can see there's literally something going on every day of the week. There's a class, there's a session, there's a screen share, there's something going on almost every day of the week. I'm telling you what, for $99 to get the platform, to get the moderators that do what we do, and to get this training and instruction and that sort of thing, when people are like, oh, I was going to join, but it's too expensive. I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? Seriously, it's $99 a month, and you get everything that you get. You get the platform, you get real-time data, you get real-time news, you get people telling you how to trade and helping you through charts and trades and flow and everything else. You have questions, we'll answer them. We'll do our best. A lot of questions come in. We're going to do our best to get to your question and to answer your questions. But just understand that, holy shit, for $99, what you get is absolutely ridiculous in my opinion. And I tell I tell corporate that all the time. I'm like, they're like, so how do you feel about that? I'm like, for what we're charging, it's ridiculous. Seriously. And it just keeps getting better. So again, I'm biased, but I've used other platforms in the past. I've used other tools in the past, and I've never had anything like this for what it costs. So, and I'm glad you're sold. Unless you're one of my trials, it doesn't really do me any good. But, you know. I hope you do join, and if you do, welcome to the family, because that's what it is. It's, you know, we are a very big community of people that, and you'll see this, that it's not stock twits. We don't pump stuff. We don't, like, that's not what we do. It's as soon as somebody starts doing that, typically one of the moderators is like, hey, shut the fuck up. Like, that's not what we're here for. And we don't care what you think is going to happen. We don't care if somebody told you it was going to $20. That doesn't matter. What matters is the chart, the technical analysis. What do the options look like? Is there any flow behind it? Like legit data and actionable flow and things to actually trade and make money on. This is St. Anne's, Zin. I think you were there when I bought it, if I remember right. I have to go through the wine because we're actually showing the house tomorrow. So I've got to start like drinking the wine that I've got in the cellar because I don't want to move it all. It's like, that's going to be a pain in the ass. So I really don't want to have to go through all that. Of all the people that would be here, like looking at charts and things like that, I'm not exactly sure why you are. I love that you're hanging out, and I'll give you a call when this is all done. We'll chat for a little bit, but like, you don't pay attention to this shit. What do you like? You know. Are most of your options naked, or do you guys play spreads? So I do play spreads from time to time, but it's not common. Like, what I'm normally doing is just scalping directionally calls and puts. Like, I'm not selling premium. I'm not writing contracts. I do that in my longer term accounts. right? So, like, there are long-term positions that I have that I'll collect premium, I'll write calls against it. And it's like, cool. If it gets called away at that price, I'm happy with it, right? I'll take the premium. If it doesn't happen, I'm good with it. I'm going to hold the position anyway. I'll do that. And there are spreads that I play where I want to reduce the amount of risk that I have. Like, hey, I think this is going up. I want some time on this. I'm going to buy the 120 call. I'm going to sell the 135 call to collect the premium, and anything in between that, max profit, right? I do that, but we don't call that out, because that's not, like, 90% of the room is trading directionally. And they just want to buy calls, get in, get out. And that's a lot of what I do. Like, throughout the day when I'm scalping, I'm not selling premium. For the most part, I play a couple swings here and there, and I have some longer term stuff. But for the most part, it's like, get in, get your money, get the fuck out. And that's what we do. Should I do this when hold on. If I put my pinky out, now I am advanced. You guys would be pissed if I just chugged it, right? Like, I didn't even taste it, I just chugged it. You got to put the pinky. It means you're sophisticated, right? If you put the pinky out, you're sophisticated. That means you know your shit or something. I don't know. So let's look at something for a second. Well, we got people here that are actually maybe interested in charts. Well, and this is kind of a test, right? Like, just to make sure all this shit's gonna work the way that I think it's gonna work. But I had a few people ask me, just do it, who I've been talking to, why I went short SPY when I did. What can we expect from watching you live Monday morning? Exactly what you're seeing here, besides, minus the wine. But we're going to go through some charts. We're going to go through the flow. I'm going to be talking about when a moderator makes a play, I'm going to go look at it and see if it's for me or not. I can't tell you what to do. That's not my job, right? All I can do is, like, show you, here's what I look at, and here's what I'm paying attention to, and draw some lines and figure out if I want to take the trade or not. They don't all work. I don't suggest anybody follow what I do. All I can do is show you how I analyze the trade and the flow and everything that goes along with that. That's what it's going to be. I'll be here in a t-shirt and a hat, probably drinking some coffee, maybe a few cuss words here and there. It's about all I can promise. So let's look at this SPY chart for a minute. This is a 78-minute chart, right? And Face Shot Sniper, I don't know if you're here, but if you are, you can chime in. We've talked a little bit about this because I sent him a note and I let him know that I was short SPY. Before that drop, I told him I'm going short. And he's like, there's a lot of people that are saying it was high, but it seemed like you knew and you were short the day before. And my response to that was this right here, this parallel channel, this upward channel. And when I went short, we were right here. And did I know for sure it was going to work? No. But it was a low risk entry. And I shorted it here and made some money. And honestly, here, I was going long until it broke the bottom of that channel. And then I was like, okay, I'm out. So what makes it a low risk entry is So this is kind of what I preach is if something does, like what we're doing, our job is to find a pattern, right? We're trying to find a pattern. Like every time this happens, then it does this. Yeah, exactly. Top of the channel. So when we see this happen multiple times and it's repeatable, every time it gets up here, it rejects and it drops, right? You know very quickly if you're right or wrong. So if we short here and it pops out up here, then we're wrong and we get out, right? That's why it's a low risk entry, because you know very quickly if you're right or wrong. And that's really all, that's all I do all day long. This is what I do. I look at a chart and I go, okay, can I find a trend? Can I find support? Can I find resistance? Is this low risk or high risk? You know, like if flow comes in on something and I pull up trend lines and things and it's like here, I'm like, okay, we're right in the middle. Like this is no man's land for me. I'm not messing with it. There's too much risk. But if they're buying puts down here, I'm going to say, yeah, that's relatively low risk. Like, you're looking for it to drop out of the bottom of this channel and continue down. And if it doesn't and it starts to move up, then I know, shit, short term, we're wrong, right? So I'm not going to mess with it. And that's, ideally, that's what you're looking for, is you want those low risk entries so that you know quickly if you're right or wrong. Philip Byers Jr., I'm with hashtag. Yeah, I've seen you plenty in main chat. Welcome to Twitch, to the Twitch channel here. Just hanging out on a Saturday, seeing what we can come up with. So this is what I look for, though. I want to know, I want to find trades that I can quickly figure out if I'm right or wrong. Because that is, like, that's key importance. Otherwise, how many people, and I wish we had, like, more people. We got 17 viewers. That's fine. But I feel like if we had 50 and I asked this question, I'd get a lot of hand raisers. How many people take a trade and you feel like you're guessing? Like, I have no idea if this is working, if it's going my way, if it's not. And I feel like that is the hardest thing, right? Is you take a trade, you're looking at a trade, you're like, I don't know if it's right or wrong. And I don't know if it's working or if it's not working. I have no idea. Like, you get a couple candles that don't go your way, and you're like, should I get out? Should I stay in? I don't know. That is the common problem, right? So what I look for is this sort of thing, like something that will tell me relatively quickly if my decision was right or wrong. And you need to have a very clear, decisive factor to know that you're right or wrong, right? Wrong? Yeah, I mean, during the pandemic, listen, right now, trading is not all that easy, right? It's never easy. Let's be honest. At least we have volatility right now, which changes the game, because everybody that's like looking at this stuff going, I can't trade this. Wait until you see shit just go straight sideways for 3 days. You're going to be like, this sucks. Like, this is not normal movement. Is there a way you can share this TA code with us so I can have it in my trading view? I don't know. Like, if I save the chart here, and yep, sharing's on. Great. Okay. Copy. I don't know. Maybe this will work. Maybe it won't. It's not really TA. It's just I guess it is, but it's really just a parallel channel. It's pretty simple. You could draw it for sure. My account has been bleeding to death. I'm always cutting trades that start to go against me only to watch them go back up. So in all, I'm usually... So, all right, let's talk about this for a second. So there's a couple things that I look at throughout the day. There's a couple things that I'm watching, right? One of them is SPY, right? Because most of what I trade is in SPY. It's whatever. It's a shitty ETF, but, you know, most of the tickers that I'm trading are part of SPY. So I'm usually watching SPY. Opposite of FOMO, fear of losing money. Yeah, and hey, that's a real fear. The first thing that I would ask is, like, position sizing, is it appropriate? Are you taking too big of a position so that you can't hold things and be comfortable with them moving around? And then the follow-on to that is, what kind of analysis did you do to determine your position? Because that's going to dictate your confidence, right? If you did the charting and you put your lines out there, it's not really a decision you make. Think about that for a second. It's not really a decision you make. You put your lines on the chart and the rest of the market makes that decision for you. Because it's like, okay, here's where my stop is, and it's not on a 1 minute chart. My stop is never on a 1 minute chart, right? But here's where my stop is, and if it goes below that, like 2 candles, I'm out. So you're not even making the decision at that point. What is the chart on the left versus the right? Just different time frames is what we're looking at. Like right now, this is showing a 1 minute chart. Usually I use a 3 minute. You got a 13 minute here, 78, and a daily down below. So it's just different time frames. But ideally, not ideally, realistically, this is not a decision that you make. You draw your line on the chart, and when it breaks that line, you're out. That's it. And don't listen to that guy. But yeah, diversify. Oh, he doesn't know anything about trading, though. Unfortunately. I'll tell you. I'll give you a little story about world's best trader, who is a good friend of mine. He buys the shit. Like, I'll send him a text and I'll say, hey, you should buy this. Right? And he'll buy it. And I'll take profit, 2 months later or whatever. And I'll send him something and say, I sold it. He will hold that shit for like 2 years and make like 100% or more. Like, he makes more than I do on those trades because I've forgotten all about it. Like, I've moved on, right? And he's like, oh, no, I'm still holding it. Like, what do you mean you're still holding it? And he's like, well, you told me to buy it at 21 and now it's at 70. And I'm like, yeah, you should probably sell it. It cracks me up. It cracks me up. And I'm like, man, if I just held that stuff, like, yeah, it cracks me up. But that's the way it is. Like, when you're not a trader and you're not in the market and you're not watching it bounce and you're not watching it, like, it's different when I can send him a text and say, hey, this is a good stock. Like, you should buy some of this, right? And then I'm selling it out and he's not paying attention, so he still owns it. And he's like, hey, that was a great call. I'm up 113%. I'm like, are you kidding me? Okay, cool. Sketch. I am in Denver. Well, southwest of Denver right now. I'm in Colorado, though. Probably the best one was honestly, AMD. Like, I told him to buy AMD. What'd you buy it at? Like 12? 11? Something like that. And I sold it at, I don't know, 19. Took profit. Last I heard, he was still in it. Him and his wife. I don't know who the better trader is, but, you know. Probably her, because she actually pays attention to the texts that I send and gets into the stuff that you're like, what the hell? How come she made 300% on this? I'm like, dude, you were on it too. You were on the same text. Pinky? Sorry, Army. There you go. I got you. I got the pinky. I will not forget. But seriously, wasn't PV chart? We're just talking about charts and stocks and things like. Really, this was because I haven't been on Twitch in like 3 months, and so I was like, I need to test all this stuff because I sent out a lot of like texts and messages and things like that saying, okay, it's time. Like, I'm home, everything's set up again, and come Monday, I'm going to be here and ready to work. I took some time off, but, you know, I want to get back to what I was doing before, which was streaming charts and stuff all day. Love your plays on Discord. Thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you. We've had some good ones. Face shot. Welcome. I'm drinking a St. Anne's Zinfandel. And it is really good. Really good. Definitely enjoying it. I got to figure out, like, where I'm comfortable again with, like, in relation to the camera and that sort of thing. He just gets lucky. Is that your wife? World's Best Trader? Is Trader NV, is that who I think it is? I have a feeling that's who that is. And no. He just gets lucky. Out of the stuff that I've given you, we both know you're full of shit. I mean, yeah, it gets lucky that it goes to the levels that it goes to. It's not lucky that they go up. That's analysis, but you hold. That's what I figured. Okay, good. Yeah. So now I know who that is. So, yeah. You've gotten lucky on a few because you hold them way longer than I do. But they've worked out so far. Let's see, I gave you Zillow in the 30s, and then I think it hit 60s. I gave you AMD at 11 or 12, and 57. I gave you VTIQ at 11, it hit 94. And I gave you MDP, and I think I told you buy the shit out of it at 1050. That one worked out really well. So, pay attention. PV Trunk. Follow me on Twitter. I've posted all of these on Twitter. I posted AbbVie at 65. I posted ZM at 66. It hit 200. And at 66, I was saying, this is ridiculous. This is a great stock. I posted buy Peloton at 21. It hit 17 and then went to 50. So I don't have one right now for you, but when I do, like, follow me on Twitter, I'll post it there for sure. I love the new filters. They're awesome. They're awesome. Twilio, I posted Twilio at like 126, and I posted on Twitter and on TradingView. I published a chart, and I said if Twilio gets over, I think it was like 126 I was looking at. It's at Bender Profit Box. But Twilio, I posted, I said if it gets over 126, it's going to go. And it did. Let's see. Better about MDP, stupid Corona. Listen, that is a stock. Get in now. Right? It's not going to hurt you. Yeah, 10. Well, it was 10.50. I said go all in. And I mean, all in to me means like 30%, right? But yeah, I went deep on it. And I'm going to continue every chance I get to add. I'm going to continue to add. Who does the development for Black Box? Do the mods do the coding? No, we do not. Do you guys hire a development team? Yes, we do. Yeah, there is a team that does. Eric does all the algo based stuff, and then we got this guy Brandon that does all the UI stuff, and then another guy David who does the back end kind of, but not algo type stuff. He's the guy that I work with mostly on Discord integration. Yeah. MDP is, I'm telling you right now, like, just buy it, hold it, wait, like 2 or 3 years at most. It'll be over 30. What do you think of NVIDIA? It's scanning on the daily. NVIDIA is a tough one for me. So I love NVIDIA, right? I love what they do. I love the technology. I don't trade it all that often. But let's take a look. Oh, look, here's a channel that I drew a long time ago. That's still here. Let's look at this on a 78. See what we come up with. Okay, we got this ascending channel for sure. That's been happening. Pops out of the channel, comes right back in, tests the bottom of the channel. And it's at the bottom. Obviously, you got a little bounce here. I'd be looking for it to re-enter this channel and to hold the bottom of this channel as support. If I look at a 65, yeah, we've got a little bounce going on right here. Let's go to a 26. Not quite showing me what I want to see, but it's close. It's really close. Let's go to 13. This is what I do. Like, I just keep zooming in a little bit and see, okay, can I see what's going on? All right, well, we've got the bottom here. The market, at least in the short term, has said this is the bottom. 315.82, right? Like, or sorry, 351.82. Market has said that is the bottom, at least for now, and it's re-entering this channel. So I would be looking at this 30, what is that, like 305? I would be looking right in here. I said 305. No, 356.45. I would be looking right in here to see if it can hold this level. Right? If it can hold that level, then I would expect a move back towards at least the center of this channel, right? And then start to move its way back towards the top of that channel. That's what I'd be looking for. What's going on with the SGMO? I have no idea. Yeah, I did enter, but I got out at like 30% profit. I have no idea. So I saw some bid side action coming in, so I got out. 21-day SMA. But no. 21-day SMA. So what I'm looking at here is it's a 20. I don't use a 20. I use a on this chart you have a 13 period. So this is I'm looking at a 13-minute chart. So, you know, this green line is 13-minute intervals. It's a 13 period EMA. So I use a 13, 21, 55, 89, and then I use a 233 MA. Adil, you're welcome. Hopefully that was helpful. Army, hopefully you'll be here Monday. Hang out. I'll tell you what happens is that, okay, right now we got 20 viewers, right? So here's what happens is how do I add the ascending? I drew that. And I can show you how to do that, but what typically happens, or at least what happened last time, is I get to where it's like, oh, I got 50, 60 people watching. There's a lot of people that are finding value in it. I'm able to help. And then it drops and it starts, you know, and then it's like, oh, people aren't, you know, interested today or whatever. And then when it gets down to like 15, I'm like, why am I doing this during the day? This like seems like a pain in the ass. But hopefully, you know, we've got, like, since the last time I did Twitch, we have probably, I bet we have 30% more users in Black Box than we did when I was doing Twitch before. So that will add a large, you know, potential audience to the stream. So the way that I draw these, I'll show you right now. I'm going to delete this one. I'll actually draw a different one. I'll draw like a tighter ascending channel. So in TradingView, you go into here, like normally by default, this is going to show you trend line. It's going to show you just a straight line here. You click that, you click parallel channel right here. And then you just draw it the way that you see it. So it's like, okay, well, for the most part, it kind of looks like this, and I'll go to the top of this channel. If you want, you can go higher, but I'd probably draw this. Let's see. Kind of like it. See this weird. I'm going to draw a trend line. I see this weird, like, it's not quite in the middle. Something like that. Which actually, look, it's parallel with the top of this channel that I drew, which boom, boom. You got 2 times that it, no, 3. 1, 2, 3. Anytime you have three times that it hits that, that's a trend line. So this blue line is actually parallel with that, which is not all that surprising that it hit here, 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 right? So on the way up, if it does indeed make a move up, I would be looking off this line for sure. And if it clears that, then your next is there. And then from there, you're looking for the top of that channel. Do I ever play Twitter? I do sometimes play Twitter. Yeah. Could I do VXX? Yeah, we could try. I to be honest, I don't really look at it that much. I look at UVXY a lot. I don't really look at VXX much. So let's see. And here's why I don't really follow, like, I've traded UVXY like 2 or 3 times, maybe 5, right? But I don't trade it very often. And I don't because I don't, like, I get it. It's a volatility index, and I understand how it moves in relation to other things, but it's not something that I can really, like, grasp. Like, I can wrap my hands around. I think this is too high, and here's why, and here's what the chart. But like that one seems very like it's harder for me to grasp and understand. And tech is my thing, right? So if we're talking about technology companies, like companies in that industry, the reason I typically trade SPY, that I get, right? But if I'm just looking at the chart on VXX, the first thing that I see is the same. Oh, that is not what I was trying to draw. I see the same sort of channel here. You can see the tops of those, and it looks something like that. So it's made its way outside of the top of this descending channel here. Now, if I show you some of the other tools that I like to use, I use the trend-based fib extension, and I say, okay, well, impulse low to impulse high puts it somewhere like that, right? Now, looking at this chart, I would say we were in this channel down here, but it clearly broke above that. So then I would be looking, if this was any other ticker, I'd be looking at this, what is that, 3805 is 382 extension. That's where I'd be looking to hold as support, which we're right in that right now. We're right in that area right now. Then you've got the 618 right here at, what is that, 53.52. Like, if it continues upward and it can hold this 3805, if it can hold that and keep working its way up, that would be the next area that I would be looking at for resistance, would be right around that 618 extension. So, yeah, I can cover Twitter. Give me a second. Matt says, quick thank you for helping me a few months back on Black Box. You walked me through some things on starting with TradingView. It was a huge help, come a long way, a little bit of time. You set me on the great path. Hey, that's what it's about. If I can help you, if I can help one person, and then you can help yourself, then that's what it's about. So thank you for making that comment. I appreciate it. Twitter. Okay, let's look at Twitter real quick. Let's see what we see. I am kind of interested in this. Let's look at Twitter. Let's see what's going on here. So I'm going to start with a 65 minute. Look at Twitter. Look at Twitter go. And let's draw some trend lines. See something kind of like that. You got it, hit it down here, right? Another shot there. Came down, touched it again. You see what's going on here? Every time it hits that trend line, it bounces and it goes, man, Twitter looks good. Twitter looks good based on the 65-minute chart. Now, what I also see here looks like something like that. Oops, don't want that. So you can see that this has been resistance here. Right in here, you had this little shuffle, right? So there's definitely some sellers in there. And definitely right there, you see it again. That level acting as pretty clear resistance on Twitter. For now, right? That's not to say it's not going to get through it. But that just means that that's what's going on right now. But this trend line here is pretty solid. Pretty good. And honestly, based on what I am seeing here, right? So, what's the best way to say this? There are a lot of people that will look at this chart And they're going to tell you that Twitter has, let me draw this line, because I've seen this just a ton. Yes, Twitter has plenty of overhead resistance, but playing it off the bounce on this trend line, man, that right there is exactly what I look for, because you know pretty quickly if you're wrong, right? If Twitter breaks this upward trend here, like it did here, right? It broke it. It came down to this is actually a 233 that came down and touched. That's fine, whatever. If it comes down here, I'm out. Right? I like this play. So you bought the 35 calls. So your calls, let's look at this for a second. Your calls are there. How much time do you have on those calls? What contracts did you buy? What expiration? Next week, 35s? And it closed at 33? Yeah, I mean... So, me personally, looking at this chart, I would have bought 33s for next week. Had I seen this, I would have bought 33s. Or if you go like 3 weeks out and you buy 35s, like I'd be good with that. But you need to get $1 in your direction. Yeah, you should have bought, no. Yeah, maybe 34s. You need like $1 in your direction before those are going to start to move. In my opinion. I mean, we'll see what happens. Like you could absolutely pull 10-15% out of those if it starts moving your direction, but I would have been playing 33s. Let's see. For your plays, how much time do you recommend for a contract? So this is what I do right here. Like what you're seeing in this chart is exactly what I do. So I say, okay, well, how long did it take when it made this move? How long did that take? Okay, well, the bottom was the 29th of May down here, and the top was the 8th of June. So it took like 9-10 days, right? So I want to buy something that I'm going to, like, these moves are taking 9 to 10 days to make this move. So if I'm going to buy like a 33 or 34 call, then I want to give myself 6 to 7 days. I mean, that's it. That's all I'm doing. I figured out how much time does it take typically to make this move. All right. If I put myself somewhere in the middle and it starts to move my direction, then I'm going to be in good shape. I personally don't go through all of the Greeks. I kind of do that in my head, I guess. I mean, I use the same like time, theta, right? The Vega I look at a little bit. Delta I only look at if I'm planning, if this is gonna be a long-term play. If I just want to hold something for the next year, then I'll buy Delta 70s and I'll just go with that. But when are we going back to St. Anne's? When do you want to go? I like the move it made at the end of day Friday. Yeah, I mean, this is nice right here. This is looking like potentially it has established that as the bottom. Again, like it had done here and here it dropped below, but boom, boom, boom. Drop below, right back up to the top of this channel. Right back up. I like it, dude. I'll probably play this on Monday. Honestly. Thanks for calling it out. I like the setup. This is the kind of setup that I look for. The only thing that worries me a little bit is that we're coming into this resistance in here. but I'll play it. I'll play it, and I'll know pretty quick if I'm wrong. If it rejects, the only thing that concerns me is a little bit is that I have a little downside bias going into next week, but we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. It's not enough that I'm not going to play something or whatever. We'll see what happens. What else you guys got? Anything else you want to look at? And hopefully that was helpful on Twitter. Give you some idea what I see. Let's see. Snap looks the same. Been scalping both. Play it. CHGG. But call it 100 strike on June 2nd. I don't follow Chegg. I don't really follow this. Wait, you bought a what? What'd you buy? You didn't buy $100 call on Chegg. Maybe that was a typo. CCL. I'm not buying cruise lines yet. I'm not. No, I can't. Like, I'll play them to the downside because I think there's more downside in store. But I'm not ready to buy them. Can I explain rolling over? Absolutely. Absolutely. Okay, so if we look at SPY, so there was a few times on SPY, especially like right in here. Here's a 3-minute on SPY where I was short and I was like, come on, roll over, right? And what I mean by that, anybody that says, come on, roll over, what we mean by that is we're seeing this move, this upward move like that. And then we're seeing it start to top out, sort of, right here. And when we're saying roll over, it's like what I want to see when I say roll over, what I want to see is that move. Okay, where the hell is that tool? What I want to see is I see this move up, and when I'm going, come on, baby, roll over. I want to see this. I want to see it start to make that move to the downside like that. That's what we're referring to when we say roll over. Let's see. Apple. CCL discounted cruises to consumers. Seems like everybody is buying that shit up. No, we're not buying that shit up. We're not buying cruises. Or did you buy a cruise? I bought a cruise, but it's like way in the future. Nah. I'm not buying it yet. Not buying it yet. And so it depends on your time horizon, right? If you're buying cruise lines and airlines now and you're going to hold them for 3 to 5 years, then I'd say go ahead. Go the fuck ahead. Buy airlines, buy cruise lines, Norwegian and Carnival and Royal Caribbean, buy them. If you're going to hold on to them for the next 3 to 5 years, you're not going to get hurt. You're going to be just fine, right? If you're trying to scalp it and you want to make money over the next week or two, I'm not ready for that. 60 strike for Chegg, not 100. Okay, that makes a whole lot more sense, right? CHGG. Nice after hours action. So, the only thing that kind of concerns me here is you've got this right here that's definitely resistance that it's coming into that has to get through before it continues this move. Now, if you look at the short-term fibs here, okay, it's kind of gotten through the 618 extension right here, and it's moving in the right direction above the 618, which is at, where is that? I can't even read that. Let me give you that. One sec. If I move this, I think if I go this way. Okay. Ugh. The green line. Where's that green line at? 50, what is that? 5807 is where that's at. So as long as you hold above that 618 extension, then you go up to that, go test that 382 extension. This is on the downward move, right? So let's look at the longer term. So this is what I do. Like, I look at the short term move, and then I'll go look at the longer term move, and I'll say, okay, let's look at a 78-minute chart. What do we see here? Well, we see a very solid bounce. I mean, this is the 233 right here. 233 EMA right there. That bounced. I mean, it said, yeah, we're going to bounce off the 233. Like that. That would be my absolute, that 233 be my absolute like cut line if I was going long here. Okay, let's see what this move calculates right here. So when you draw fibs, anytime you get past the 1618, you got to draw it again. But it gives me like, I can kind of start to get a glimpse of what happened and what was going on. Obviously, it went well past the 1618. So this was impulse high to impulse, or impulse low to impulse high. Something like that. So you got 5418, which is not too far off where it bounced, right? That was that 618 extension. Now you've got 5737 as the 786. And if it can get through that, I like this pattern and this setup. As long as it holds that 5418, you start moving back. You would expect something that looks kind of like, so that actually looks like, that looks good right there. And then your expected move would be, somewhere up there if it continues. How do I feel about semis, bull or bear? Overall bullish. Headed out. I'll check out the Monday stream. Right on. See you then. Read something about the Fed only purchasing $4 billion last week versus the $100 billion the previous weeks. You think we need the Fed to hold these markets up to have upside? I don't fucking know, dude. I just play the chart. CGC. Pot stocks, CGC, Tilray, ACB, like, I don't know. Go long, hold it forever. I don't know. Or better yet, buy, what is it, THCX. That's the cannabis ETF. Then you don't have to worry about it. You don't have to pick the right one, right? I'm not bullish or bearish. I don't play them. And when I do, like, I own a couple. but I'm just going to own them because one day they're either going to work or they're not. I don't care. Pot stocks can only get higher. Right? What else we got? I got to save some for Monday because this is what we do like through the week. So it's just been a while and I've got a little extra in me, but yeah, this is what we will be doing next week. Space? Oh, so space. Okay. Some of these plays like space, you cannot chart space. It doesn't matter what the chart says, right? Because it is totally speculative and has a huge fault. Like seriously, Tesla will absolutely destroy a chart. So you can't really chart like a space. It doesn't matter. How do you pick tickers to trade options early in the day? What is your trade plan? My trade plan is to hang out and see what happens. And you'll see that next week. Like, I don't, again, I go into certain things. Like, I'm going to be watching, Twitter. I'll be watching Twitter on Monday for sure. CGC 20 call, 717. Thoughts? CGC, anything pot stocks it's fucking hard. It's tough. BS, because there is no revenue. In what space? Yeah, there's no revenue. It's total speculation. But, there are people that will, hell, I will own a couple shares of space probably until the day that I die. Because it's Richard Branson, and you know what? Maybe he, industrializes tourism to outer space. I have no idea what's going to happen. And I don't care. It doesn't matter. No. Okay, so NKLA is a little different in that they are not shooting for the moon, right? This is different. They went out to companies that ship and that are heavy shippers like Walmart and Anheuser-Busch and some of these others, and they said, what are the routes that you typically go to and from, and how much does that cost you? Can we do it cheaper with hydrogen? We think we can. And by the way, we're going to give you the truck and the fuel and everything else, and it's going to be one price, flat. So they're going to normalize OpEx, which is huge. Because that's a big variable for these companies. They're like, we don't know, sometimes we spend this much on fuel and sometimes it's this much, right? And Nikola says, we're going to take that away. We're going to take all the variables out of it. We're going to give you a flat rate cost. It's going to cover your fuel, your truck, all the transport costs is now fixed cost. So your OpEx now becomes manageable and predictable. So it's a little different. They are taking, whatever. I don't care about that. I'm not saying it's going to do one thing or it's going to do the other. I don't care. Bumping bellies, if you're in this pile of shorts that are saying, that, they've had a lot of pre-orders, but there's no money down. Who gives a shit? It doesn't matter. Don't try to play that, right? Just play the chart, play what you see. Don't try to jump on the bandwagon of, they haven't taken any money. It doesn't matter. They've gotten some massive contracts. They're going to do some shit. I don't know that it's worth $60 a share. I'm just saying they're going to do some shit. Toyota tried a hydrogen vehicle, not so great. Let's see. So you pay for the CapEx and they make maintenance subscription. Yeah, exactly. It's a subscription-based model. Yep. And I don't disagree with you. Not touching them till proven. Don't disagree with you at all. And you shouldn't. And I won't like take a large position at this point, you know, purely on speculation. I'll own a couple shares because I think it's cool. And I like what they're trying to do. But it's not a position that's even worth talking about. And I won't until it is proven and they start building it out and we see revenue and everything. Then I'm like, then I'll be way more interested. If you had to choose 2 to 3 favorite mods to watch, who would it be in Discord? All right. Oh, that's a tough question. That's a tough question. But I'm going to answer it. And my answer is going to be this. It depends. So, I follow Maria's trades if I can get in where she gets in. She's really fucking good. She's probably the best trader, most experienced trader that we have. She's really good. But you have to be able to get in like near where she got in. You can't go chase something, you know, that's already moved 15%. Because she's already getting out. She's making her money. She's getting out. And that's not like a dig on... She is one of my favorite fucking people, and she's an awesome trader. I love Jenny B's trades. I will follow them almost blindly. Almost blindly. Like, when I say almost, I mean like 90% of the time, I will follow them blindly. If it's a ticker that I don't love, I might go look at the chart or whatever. Or if I don't like the market situation, I won't follow it. But for the most part, I will follow her trades. And then the Godfather himself, like when Charlie calls something out, I'll play it every single time. I don't follow Kang's trades all that often, only because I'm not typically playing Amazon or Tesla. But if that's what my focus was and that's what I was playing, I would be following his trades because he's really fucking good at it. So, what's her style? Yeah, she's a scalper. No. She's a surgeon. She is really, really good. But she also trades a lot of contracts, and you have to be very aware of like her entry price, because if you just blindly go, oh, she bought this and it's gone up 30 cents, I'm in, like she's probably already getting out. You got to be aware of that. And that's not, Maria, not a dig on her, because she is the best. You just got to be careful. And know, like, because she's so like precise, you got to be close to that. Because that's what she's playing. She's playing those levels, and she's playing that precise, like, oh, if I... Most of us trade at market, meaning when I'm ready to buy something, probably 80% of the time I'm buying at market. And then I'm selling at market. Not her. She's like, I want 136. And it hits 136 and she's in. And she'll send them, hey, I'm in at 136. She probably had that order out there for like 5-10 minutes before that hit. You're not getting 136 at that point, right? It's not her fault. It's just that she has it. Like, that's how precise she is. So as it starts to move up and you see it go to like from 136 to like 155, and you're like, oh, I see the, oh, she got in. Sure, I'll get in at 150. No, you don't want to get in there, because there's a good chance she's got at least a partial sell order like at that level. So you just got to pay attention to what your entry is and that sort of thing. But fuck, she kills it. And so does Jenny B. Jenny B kills it all the time. Jenny B's really good. Really good. Especially for somebody that can't be on voice, she's not even able to watch the charts all the time. She's half in and half out because she works full time. Like, the stuff that she calls out is just a blow. I'm like she calls it out and I'm like, That makes so much sense. Yeah, like, but I didn't even think of that. She blows my mind. Jenny B's awesome. All right. That's it for me. Thank you guys for hanging out. Let me test this and make sure that it all works. I will be here Monday before the bell. And I will be here probably the entire week. We'll see how it goes. But I'm going to go eat dinner. So hope you guys enjoy the rest of your weekend. Thanks for hanging out. Like I said, give me a chance to make sure everything that is is working the way that it's supposed to. And for those of you that were hanging out on the stream before I took my vacation, my time off, I miss you. I'm happy to have you back. Happy to be back with you. So let's get at it. Be ready to work on Monday. Let's get it. Let's make it happen. All right. See you guys next week.